If you thought the Yakuza series had already reached the peak of its absurdity, think again. Imagine this: pirates, Yakuza, and modern-day Hawaii. Sounds like the craziest crossover you've ever heard, right? Well, brace yourself, because, like a dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is about to take you on a wild, unpredictable ride through a world where logic is a distant memory and chaos reigns supreme. The Yakuza universe, known for its dark, gritty storylines and intense action, has always been about pushing boundaries. But this time, the stakes are higher, the world more bizarre, and the gameplay more explosive than ever before. You're not just fighting the usual gangsters on the neon-lit streets of Japan. Now you're facing off against actual pirates in an island paradise. Swords, cannons, and machine guns are all fair game. But here's the twist. The game doesn't even bother trying to explain itself. This is the world you're in now, and it demands that you embrace its madness without hesitation. The question is, are you ready for it? Or will you be left wondering how the hell you ended up here, lost in the madness, unable to tell where reality ends and the Yakuza universe begins? The rules are different, the characters are stranger, and the stakes? They've never been higher. Get ready to dive deep into a game that plays by no one's rules but its own. This isn't just another game in the franchise, it's a fever dream come to life. And it's got you hooked, whether you like it or not. Welcome to a world where the boundaries of reality blur, and the line between sanity and madness disappears into the horizon. In Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. The Yakuza universe, known for its gritty streets and ruthless gangsters, is suddenly transported into a surreal island paradise. Picture this. Pirates, armed with eye patches, swords, and flintlock pistols, navigating the modern-day streets of Hawaii, their ships sailing through the turquoise waters, brimming with cannons, machine guns, and the chaotic spirit of the high seas. It's like someone took the Yakuza series, tossed it into a blender with swashbuckling pirates, and then threw in a splash of tropical island chaos for good measure. But here's the thing. The game doesn't try to make sense of any of it. No, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii boldly throws logic out the window and challenges you to embrace its absurdity. Pirates in Hawaii with modern technology? Why not? It's a place where you can fight other pirates on the streets with a sword in one hand and a machine gun in the other, all while sailing a rickety wooden ship packed with old-timey cannons and high-powered modern weaponry. It's a fusion of past and present, history and madness, all wrapped up in a beautifully insane package. Visually, the game doesn't hold back. The pirate ships, seemingly straight out of a history book, clash with the neon lights of modern-day Hawaii, creating a bizarre but oddly captivating contrast. The design is so over the top that it feels like an anime-inspired fever dream, pirates shouting "Avest" while they battle in a city known for its surf culture and luxury resorts. The absurdity of it all is overwhelming, yet it pulls you in with a grin on your face, not caring if it makes sense. There's something undeniably fun about it. The gameplay mirrors this chaotic blend of elements. One minute you're fighting a gang of thugs in an alley, the next you're boarding a pirate ship, dueling with enemies in the middle of a sea battle. There's an electric sense of unpredictability, a feeling that anything can happen. And while the game's premise might sound like a fever dream, it works. The sheer energy and absurdity of it all make it a roller coaster ride that's hard to resist. It's like the game knows it's ridiculous, and rather than shy away from it, it embraces the chaos with open arms. There's no pretense, no need for logical explanations. This is just the world you live in now, and the game dares you to dive into the madness. What makes it so captivating, though, is the game's playful attitude. It never takes itself too seriously, which makes it all the more fun. You're not meant to question how pirates exist in modern-day Hawaii, or why they're armed to the teeth with guns and cannons. Instead, you're meant to throw yourself into the chaos, to revel in the absurdity and embrace it. The game never stops to explain itself, and that's exactly what makes it so entertaining. You'll find yourself laughing at the sheer ridiculousness of it all, and in the end, that's part of the charm. It doesn't care if it makes sense. It's here to entertain, and boy, does it deliver. In the end, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii offers an experience that's utterly unique. It's not just a Yakuza game, It's a bizarre adventure that takes you on a wild ride through a world where pirates, machine guns, and tropical islands collide in the most unexpected ways. It's a game that dares you to throw logic aside, to embrace the madness, and to enjoy the ride. And as crazy as it may sound, it works. You'll either love it or find yourself laughing in disbelief at the madness, but one thing's for sure, it's a ride you won't forget. Majima is back, but this time he's not just a sidekick or a co-protagonist. He's the star, and he's here to unleash chaos as a pirate in Hawaii. If you're a longtime Yakuza fan, you already know Majima as the Mad Dog of Shimano, a force of nature with a chaotic, unpredictable streak. He's the kind of character who thrives on pushing boundaries, whether it's in a heated street fight or while leading a gang. But in Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, we see him in an entirely new light, and this time, it's not just about surviving the underworld, it's about surviving a pirate-infested island where logic and reason don't stand a chance. Majima's journey begins with a bang. He wakes up on an unfamiliar island with no memory of who he is or how he got there. The island is full of bizarre, over-the-top enemies, pirates with ridiculous names like Captain Beef, yes, you read that right, and a kid who insists his pet tiger is just a cat. But as Majima always does, he takes it all in stride. Instead of running from the insanity, he dives right into it, using his signature mix of brute force and unpredictable madness to tear through enemies in his way. This is the first time Majima is taking center stage in the Yakuza franchise, and honestly, it's a long time coming. He's always been one of the most dynamic characters in the series, charismatic, unpredictable, and not afraid to do whatever it takes to get what he wants. But while he's often been a key character in previous games, this time, he's the main man. The pirate setting? It's the perfect fit for someone like Majima, who thrives on chaos and embraces the weirdest situations. He doesn't just survive, he dominates. What's even more fascinating about this version of Majima is the twist. He's suffering from amnesia. Imagine being dropped into an entirely new world, unsure of your past or how you ended up there, but with an unshakable drive to fight. This amnesia is not just a plot device, it's a key element that drives Majima's development throughout the game. He's forced to navigate this strange, pirate-filled world without any of the usual motivations he relies on, his memory, his past, his sense of purpose. The question becomes, who is Majima without all of that? Can he still be the Mad Dog without knowing who he really is? His journey through this bizarre, pirate-filled world allows him to rediscover himself, even if the path is twisted and full of absurdities. As Majima faces off against the weirdest villains and participates in outlandish situations, you begin to see a side of him you might not have expected. His usual lunacy is still there, of course, but there's a more introspective side to him as he grapples with his lack of memory. He's not just a wild card, he's a man in search of his identity, even if that means fighting pirates and battling his way through the strangest situations. This spin-off takes Majima out of his usual element, and it works perfectly. He's a character who thrives in chaos, and putting him in a world where the only rule is that there are no rules is genius. His eccentricity, his unpredictability, and his sheer energy make him the perfect character to lead this crazy pirate adventure. As you dive deeper into the game, you'll see Majima's journey evolve from pure madness to something more personal, all while taking on the weirdest pirate-themed enemies you've ever seen. Majima's transformation from a sidekick to the main character is a long-awaited one. It's an opportunity to see him take center stage, not just as the Mad Dog of Shimano, but as the unpredictable hero of a bizarre adventure in a world where pirates, Yakuza, and Hawaii collide in the most absurd ways imaginable. And trust me, this is a ride you won't want to miss. When you think of Yakuza combat, the first thing that probably comes to mind is slow, brutal, methodical fighting. The kind of brawls that are more about timing and precision than speed. But in Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, the game takes that traditional combat formula and cranks it up to 11, transforming the experience into a fast-paced, action-packed roller coaster. If you've ever played Devil May Cry or Dynasty Warriors, you'll immediately notice the shift. Majima zips around the battlefield, slicing and dicing through enemies like a whirlwind of chaos. In this game, the combat feels almost like a symphony of speed and brutality. Gone are the slower, deliberate punches and counters of the past. Instead, the pace is fast, ferocious, and exhilarating. Majima is a supercharged version of himself, darting between enemies, taking down multiple foes with a single combo. The battles no longer feel like just a brawl. They're high-speed performances with Majima at the center, unleashing combos that leave your enemies in the dust. At the heart of this new combat system are two distinct styles, Mad Dog and Sea Dog. Each brings its own flavor to the madness, allowing you to choose how you want to engage with the chaos. Mad Dog style is pure, unadulterated Majima. This style is all about quick, brutal attacks, with Majima wielding his iconic knife in a whirlwind of slashes. He's fast, he's lethal, and the combat feels almost like an extension of his unpredictable nature. If you're familiar with the Yakuza series, you'll recognize the Mad Dog style as an evolution of his previous combat techniques, but with added speed and power. The Mad Dog style is ideal for when you want to tear through enemies quickly, dealing massive damage in the process. It's all about overwhelming your foes before they even have a chance to blink. Sea Dog style, on the other hand, introduces a new twist to the combat system. Imagine Majima wielding dual cutlasses and a pistol. Slow, methodical, but devastatingly powerful. This style is perfect for those who like to take their time and savor the chaos. While the Sea Dog style may not be as fast as Mad Dog, it more than makes up for it with sheer destructive power. You'll find yourself chopping through enemies with heavy, calculated strikes, using the environment to your advantage and making the most out of Majima's pirate-themed arsenal. It's about control, precision, and sheer force, making it the ideal choice for tougher battles or when you're surrounded by enemies. But the real game changer here is the addition of aerial combat. Yes, you heard that right. Aerial combat has finally entered the Yakuza universe, and it works surprisingly well. Majima isn't just grounded in these battles. He takes to the air, launching his enemies into the sky with powerful uppercuts and following up with deadly air combos. You can juggle enemies in mid-air, delivering a series of devastating blows before sending them crashing back to the ground. This adds a whole new dimension to the combat system, allowing for more fluid and dynamic fights. The ability to seamlessly transition from ground combat to air combos makes Majima feel like an unstoppable force, soaring through the battlefield with unmatched speed and power. In addition to these core mechanics, Majima's combat speed has been turned up to a level that feels almost unreal. When you're zipping through enemies at breakneck speed, you'll feel the adrenaline rush with every swing of your weapon. The game rewards precision and timing, but also gives you the freedom to unleash chaos, letting you tear through foes with a flurry of attacks. The joy of running through groups of enemies, dispatching them in seconds with fluid high-speed moves is something you'll never get tired of. The combat in Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii may seem over the top and chaotic, but it works because it matches the game's wild, unpredictable energy. The addition of new combat styles, the air combos, and the overall faster pace all contribute to a more exhilarating experience than any Yakuza game before it. You're not just playing to win, you're playing to feel the rush of battle, to dive headfirst into the madness, and to watch Majima leave a trail of destruction in his wake. This is combat like you've never seen in the Yakuza series, and it's all the more fun because of it. In Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, the world you explore is as wild and unpredictable as the game's premise. Imagine wandering through the streets of Honolulu, but with a twist. It's a repurposed version of the iconic Hawaiian city, now infused with the chaos of pirates, gangsters, and treasure hunts. From the neon-lit streets to the sandy beaches, this isn't the Honolulu you know. It's a version warped by the bizarre collision of Yakuza and pirate lore. As you explore, you'll notice that while the world feels expansive, it's not as sprawling as some of the larger Yakuza titles. The islands are relatively small, and many of the exploration maps feel more like self-contained areas than one giant open world. This is where Pirate Yakuza shows some limitations. While it offers a fun and engaging setting, it's clear that the developers recycled many assets from previous games. The island locations feel a bit slapped together at times, and the environments lack the intricate detailing you might expect from a modern open-world game. However, these shortcomings don't take away from the charm of the world. It still feels alive and full of things to do, even if the geography is a bit smaller than you'd expect. One of the most exciting features of the game is the pirate ship battles. You'd think that navigating the high seas would be a bit more complex, especially with the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag standard for pirate combat, but the game keeps it relatively simple. You're not dealing with wind direction or realistic sailing mechanics. Instead, you get straight-up action as you fight other pirates on the open ocean. It's fast-paced, fun, and it's easy to get caught up in the chaos of it all. Whether you're sinking enemy ships with a barrage of cannons or ramming them with your own ship. There's something undeniably thrilling about these battles, even if they're not as deep or complex as other pirate-themed games. But what really keeps you hooked in the world of Pirate Yakuza are the side activities and mini-games scattered throughout. You can find everything from simple bar games to outlandish new challenges that make the experience feel uniquely Yakuza. These mini-games might seem like a distraction from the main story, but in true Yakuza fashion, they provide a surprising amount of charm and depth. Whether it's trying your hand at a cooking minigame or participating in the new, bizarre version of the battling cages that involves explosives, there's no shortage of quirky distractions to keep you entertained. Even though some of the minigames feel a bit underdeveloped, they're still a blast to play and add personality to the overall game. They allow you to take a break from the chaos and dive into something lighthearted. And let's not forget the karaoke performances. Majima's iconic voice is back, and he's ready to sing his heart out in some of the most hilarious, over-the-top karaoke moments the Yakuza series has ever seen. These small touches are what make the world feel so alive and fun to explore, even if the world design itself can feel a bit repetitive at times. While the map's limited size and recycled assets might initially feel like a drawback, Pirate Yakuza makes up for it by packing its world with engaging activities, a unique blend of pirate lore, and a sense of humor that keeps you coming back for more. Whether you're battling enemies on land, sailing the seas, or getting lost, in a side quest, the world remains as chaotic and enjoyable as Majima himself. It's not about realism or perfection, it's about embracing the absurdity and having fun along the way. And for what it's worth, Pirate Yakuza knows exactly how to deliver on that promise. In Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, the story takes a backseat to the chaos and wackiness that define the game. At its core, the plot revolves around Majima's treasure hunt and his unexpected participation in a wild pirate tournament. It's not a story that will win any literary awards, but it's enough to give you a reason to keep moving forward through the madness. Majima's main goal is simple: find treasure, win the pirate tournament, and navigate his way through this bizarre, pirate-filled world. But the plot isn't really the focus here. The true star of the game is Majima's unpredictable journey through the madness. What makes the story truly captivating, though, is how Majima's chaotic nature drives the narrative. He's not your typical hero. He's not interested in traditional heroism or a noble quest. No, Majima is here to stir things up, fight pirates, and, most importantly, create chaos wherever he goes. The treasure hunt and tournament are just vehicles for Majima to do what he does best: unleash his wild side and take on the strangest, most ridiculous enemies in the game. From battling pirates with silly names like Captain Beef to encountering strange side characters, Majima is at the heart of every absurd moment. This chaotic nature doesn't just define his actions, it gives depth to his character. Majima's a man who thrives on unpredictability and embraces whatever comes his way, even when he has no memory of his past. His journey is less about discovering who he is and more about embracing the wild adventure in front of him. In a world where logic takes a back seat to absurdity, Majima is perfectly at home. The real draw of the story is not in its complexity, but in watching Majima navigate a bizarre pirate-filled universe, making enemies, forming alliances, and, most importantly, having a good time while doing it. Whether he's battling rival pirates or participating in ridiculous side activities, you can't help but enjoy the ride, and that's exactly what Pirate Yakuza sets out to deliver. It's chaotic, it's fun, and it's all about Majima doing what Majima does best, making everything his own brand of madness. Is Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii a revolutionary entry in the Yakuza series? Probably not. But is it a ton of fun? Absolutely. While it may not have the depth or gravity of the franchise's more prominent titles, this bizarre spin-off delivers a unique and chaotic experience that is hard to ignore. From the over-the-top pirate combat to Majima's wild antics, Pirate Yakuza is the kind of game that knows exactly what it is. A fast-paced, hilarious roller coaster that doesn't take itself seriously, and that's exactly why it works. This is a B-tier game in the Yakuza franchise, and that's okay. It's not trying to be the next Yakuza 5R or Yakuza 0R. It's here for a good time, not a long time. And sometimes that's exactly what you need. The gameplay is engaging, the humor is infectious, and the sheer absurdity of the setting makes it hard to put down. If you're a fan of the series, or if you're just looking for something completely out of left field, this game delivers in spades. At the end of the day, Pirate Yakuza is an experience meant to be embraced for its fun, ridiculousness, and the chaos that Majima brings to the table. It's fast, it's silly, and it knows it. So, if you're ready to jump into a game that doesn't take itself too seriously and is guaranteed to make you laugh, then yes, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is worth your time. It's not groundbreaking, but it's definitely a blast, and sometimes that's all that matters. Well, there you have it. Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii might not be the next Yakuza 5, but it sure is a wild ride. Majima as a pirate in Hawaii, battling other pirates, battling his memory, and battling sheer absurdity. What more could you ask for? Whether you're here for the insane combat, the hilarious side quests, or just to see how far this game can push the boundaries of reality, Pirate Yakuza delivers all that and more. But now, I want to hear from you. What did you think about this bizarre mashup? Did Majima's pirate adventure win you over, or is it a bit too crazy even for the Yakuza series? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. And hey, if you enjoyed the madness, don't forget to hit that like button, share the video with your fellow gamers, and subscribe for more gaming reviews that dive into the weird and wonderful. Remember, the world of Pirate Yakuza may be unpredictable, but one thing's for sure, it's a journey you won't forget. So let's talk about it. Share your thoughts, your favorite moments, and any ridiculous pirate names you've come across. Majima's not the only one who can go a little crazy, right? See you in the next video, Yakuza style.